is another episode of College Game Time. This is bowl season episode. It might be a double upload, I don't know yet. But let's go over the top 4 quick. Number 1, Alabama after beating number 3, Georgia in an upset in the SEC championship game. Number 2, number 2, Michigan after beating Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. I thought they were going to move it to number 1, but I was wrong. And number 4, Cincinnati after beating number 25, Houston in the American Athletic Conference. I thought that at least Notre Dame was going to hop in front of Cincinnati. I get Notre Dame doesn't have a bowl game, but Cincinnati is not a top Power 5 team. The only team that they won against big was Notre Dame, which makes sense. That Notre Dame's not in it anymore. So let's go to our first game. Our first game is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We have Old Dominion versus Tulsa. And yes, we have the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Our players of the game, our starter players are Hayden Wolf and Davis Brin. I feel like Old Dominion beat Charlotte by a lot. And Tulsa has put up a good fight against some teams. I feel like Tulsa is going to pull this one out. They have the better record. And yeah, the CUSA conference isn't that big compared to Tulsa. I feel like Tulsa's winning this one 21-14. Okay. Our next game is Memphis versus Hawaii. The Hawaii with in the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. I feel like this one is gonna be close. Memphis a couple years ago played Penn State in the Cotton Bowl. After that, they fell off. I mean, I believe they're entering the Big 12 soon. The Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. I just can't. Clayton Tune needs to show up and play his best, and have Chevron Correal. I can't say that name right. Like suck. Like Hawaii's in the Mountain West, and Memphis is in the American. So Memphis should win this game, but you never know. So I have Memphis winning this. No, I have Hawaii winning this one by a touchdown. 28-21. The Chameleon Bowl, Georgia State versus Ball State, is on Christmas Day, December 25th. Ball State versus Georgia State, like I said. Chameleon Bowl. It's in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. So Ball State put a decent fight against Penn State. Georgia State hasn't really proven themselves. They haven't played any amazing teams. So in that case, I have Georgia State winning this one. Just by Ball State winning this one by a touchdown. Okay. Our next game is the AutoZone Bowl. It is Mississippi State versus Texas Tech. So, Mississippi State has lost me a lot of games. I'm 28 and 15 on the season. They've lost me a lot of games. I could have been at least in the 30s. I feel like Mississippi State has been too hyped up. They've been overrated. That's why they're in the Liberty Bowl. I get that. Will Rogers isn't leading Mississippi State to a big bowl game. Mississippi State was in the top 25 in the beginning of the season, but they just fell off. Henry Columbia brought Texas Tech to a decent season. It's average for Texas Tech. So I feel like Mississippi State versus Texas Tech. It's gonna be a decent game. Remember, Mississippi State's in the SEC. Mississippi State has the better conference. They've faced better teams. They've lost to better teams. While Texas Tech lost to some teams that they should have won against if Mississippi State was in the Big 12. So that's what my thinking is. I have Mississippi State winning this one versus Texas Tech. 42-35. Our next game is the Cheetah Bowl. the Cheez-It Bowl is Clemson versus Iowa State. Clemson has brought their way back. Before they weren't in the beginning of the season. They played horrendous. They lost to Georgia, which I get. But then they lost to some teams that they should have won against. So Iowa State last year they did pretty good. They lost against Oklahoma with Spencer Rattler in the Big 12 championship game. This year they didn't even come close to the Big 12 championship game. Clemson, on the other hand, was close to making it to the ACC championship game. Last season, they were in the top 4, and they lost to Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. The Cheez-It Bowl, it's in Orlando, Florida. Will Shipley has to be playing at his best. Brock Burley has to also play at his best. If Iowa State has a chance at this game, it's because Will Shipley did horrendous, and Brock Purdy did amazing throwing the ball. DJ Ungulale hasn't proven himself as a Clemson quarterback. Clemson quarterbacks before that, Sean Watson, Trevor Lawrence, those quarterbacks did amazing. Now, DJ Ungulale, you don't hear his name like Trevor Lawrence. He had experience coming into the season from last season when he lost against Notre Dame, but he won a close game against Boston College. He has more experience than he did last year, and they should have won against Georgia. So I say I have Clemson winning this one by a touchdown, 42-35. Sorry that most of my predictions are won by a touchdown. Okay, so our next game is the Outback Bowl. The last couple of years, Texas has been in this game. Now it's Oregon versus Oklahoma. The Outback Bowl. Anthony Brown has to be playing well. Anthony Brown has to lead this Oregon team. Currently, Oregon according to ESPN, doesn't have a good percent chance of winning this game. Oregon's number 14, Oklahoma's number 16. Oklahoma didn't make it into the Big 12 championship game. This game is pretty much almost like the Rose Bowl. But Oregon, the Rose Bowl is the best Pac-12 team that didn't make it into the playoffs. This game is the second best Pac-12 team that didn't make it into the playoffs. And this team, it is also the best Pac-12, Big 12 team that didn't make it. The second best Big 12 team that didn't make it into the playoffs. Sorry, I'm messing up my words bad. But I feel like Oregon deserves this game more than Oklahoma. Oklahoma's had a downhill season. It's been up and down. They lost to Oklahoma State. They should have won against that. They had to switch their quarterback coming into the game against Texas. Spencer Rattler was one of the was in the Heisman candidate. He was like the second best, and he just fell. He just fell off. And then, Spencer Rattler and a tight end from Oklahoma did transfer to South Carolina. Both of them, it was fine. But Oklahoma needs to be leading this game by a lot if they don't want Oregon to come back. Oregon's won against Ohio State, but lost 2 times against Utah. How do you lose 2 times against the same team? That's my question. Let's move on to the next game. I have Oregon winning this one 14-0. Next one is Duke's Mayo Bowl. Duke's Mayo Bowl concedes of North Carolina and South Carolina. What a coincidence. Like I said in the last game, South Carolina has 2 transfer candidates coming in to that season, which includes Spencer Rattler and the tight end. Sam Howell, at the beginning of the season, he won a Herbie Award, and now he's in the bottom. He hasn't led this North Carolina team like he did last year. North Carolina last year was in the top 10 a couple of times. Now they're not even in the top 25. South Carolina has Luke Doughty, which is gonna be benched next season, so he has to enjoy this game while it lasts. He's gonna be benched by Spencer Rattler. North Carolina versus South Carolina is a rival game. They're both Carolinas. North Carolina, I feel like, should win this one. It's played in Carolina, in the Carolina Panthers Stadium, Bank of America Stadium. North Carolina is closest to this game than South Carolina is. I have North Carolina winning this one by 10. 35-24. The next game is the Outback Bowl. This game's on January 1st, noon on ESPN. This game has Penn State versus number 17 Arkansas. Number 17 Arkansas has a 70% chance of winning this game, while Penn State has 30%. This game's in Tampa Bay, Florida. This is where the Buccaneers play. C.J. Jefferson versus Jahan Dotson. I don't mention Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford came out with new news. Sean Clifford is coming back next season for his 6th year with Penn State. He said one big thing that really made it a really easy decision is that Liam Clifford's coming to Penn State. He has Jahan Dotson for another year. He has P.J. Washington. The downside, Taquan Robertson is entering the transfer portal. Penn State has a 5-star quarterback coming in this season. And if Penn State wins this one, and Sean Clifford does amazing, I don't blame him if he just uncommits. I don't blame him. But if Penn State has a signature win, by a little, in this Outback Bowl, I think he's gonna join. I think he's gonna be a backup. I don't think he's gonna start until later in the season when Sean Clifford sucks. Sean Clifford is overrated, in my opinion. Sean Clifford does a lot for this Penn State team. He brings them up, but he also brings them down. I feel like his first couple seasons, he did amazing. Amazing. 2019. But in 2020, it was the 14 interceptions. This season, he's done better. But he hasn't done as much. I have Penn State winning this one by a field goal. A disappointing one. I feel like Penn State should blow out Arkansas. I have Penn State winning this 28-25. Our next game is the Fiesta Bowl. It's Oklahoma State versus Notre Dame. Penn State was in the Fiesta Bowl in 2017. They passed it on for $2. Spencer Sanders versus Jack Cohn in Notre Dame. They're both quarterbacks. Spencer Sanders threw 4 interceptions last week against Baylor. And we're not talking about Baylor this week. I don't get that. Oklahoma State dropped to number 6. They're number 5, and they lost to Baylor, and somehow they're higher ranked than Baylor. I've got a lot wrong in the past year. But one thing I know for sure is that Notre Dame's going to crush the Pac-12, the Big 12, Oklahoma. They're going to demolish. This is number 5 and number 6 playing against each other. Notre Dame's going to destroy Oklahoma State and prove that they should have been number 4 instead of Cincinnati. I have Notre Dame winning this one by 21. 31-14. Sorry, 35-14. Our second to last game before the playoffs is Utah versus Ohio State. I feel stupid. I've got the whole thing wrong the whole time. Ohio State's number 6. Notre Dame's number 5. So it's number 6 versus number 17. This is definitely a fair fight. It's presented by Northwestern Mutual after its 1 year non-running because the Capital One did it. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud came in fourth in the Heisman. I feel like he should even been in the Heisman. Cameron Rising versus CJ Stroud. I have Cameron Rising winning this one with Utah because of their signature wins against Oregon. Oregon won against Ohio State. So Oregon's the better team. But Utah beat them 2 times. Utah beat Oregon 2 times in a row. Utah is the better team, no doubt. That's why they're in the Rose Bowl. Instead of being in the Alamo Bowl, they're in the Rose Bowl. I have Utah beating Ohio State 21-14. The last one's the All-State Sugar Bowl, with Baylor versus Ole Miss. Greg Bahana and Matt Corral. What? Greg Bahana has proved me wrong 2 times before. The Oklahoma game and the Oklahoma State game. Greg Bahana is a special guy. He's proven people wrong. Matt Corral. Look at that face. Look at that. Was a Heisman candidate for a while. Until they lost to Alabama. Yep. So Baylor is in the worst conference, but they've played better. Baylor is winning this one 21-7. In the moment you've all been waiting for. Just here we go. So there's Michigan versus Georgia. And the Capital One Orange Bowl. This is the best game in bowl season. The best game in bowl season. The second best is probably the other one, the Alabama-Cincinnati game. This is the game of the week. This is the playoff. This is the bowl season game. Bowl season, not the final game. But Georgia lost to Alabama. They choked. They choked. I can tell you that. Michigan. They had a good win against Iowa last week. Usually, Michigan loses to Iowa. They've lost many times before when Michigan's the better team. But Michigan stood their ground and won. Georgia chokes also. They're both chokers. Let's go with that. They're both chokers. Well, Georgia, on the other hand, plays smooth. Michigan, it was rocky. They barely won against Penn State. They won against Ohio State by like 35-ish. They lost against Michigan State, and somehow they're still in the playoff talk. They over Cincinnati, which I think is the better choice. How is still in the playoff talk after losing against Michigan State, which is number 12 right now? I don't get that. Michigan should be number 5. Notre Dame, number 4. Cincinnati, out. Ohio State, Or you have Michigan, number 3. Ohio State, number 2. Georgia, number 1. Alabama, number 4. That's my opinion. I have Georgia winning this one by 17. 24-7. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. The Cotton Bowl. This is Alabama versus Cincinnati. Do we really need to talk about this one? It's a Cotton Bowl Classic established in 1937. Desmond Riley versus Heisman winner Bryce Young. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Number 1 versus number 4. Goodyear Cotton Bowl was also Clemson Notre Dame. Guess who won? The higher seed like they should. Clemson. Alabama should destroy Cincinnati. And I don't feel bad. I'm going to be enjoying every second of Alabama beating Cincinnati. I don't like talking about Cincinnati on this channel. I think they're overrated. They went against Notre Dame, that's it. That's it. Alabama lost to Texas A&M. Won against Georgia. Won against Ole Miss. Won against Auburn. They've beat better teams than Cincinnati. That's why they're number 1. When Cincinnati's number 4, Alabama's winning this one 35-0. Okay. Now we're moving on to the finals. Here's the top 4 here. This is 6. Look at that. That's 6. Number 1 versus number 4. If my thing goes how I say it's going to go, it's going to be Alabama, Georgia. I mean, I feel like that should happen. Notre Dame's going to win against Oklahoma State. They're going to be number 5. They're going to be number 4 at the end of the season after Cincinnati drops out. Michigan's number 3. Then this is 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. If Ohio State wins, they're number 5, no matter what. And I think if they lose, they're still going to be number 5. But I think it comes down in the finals to Georgia, Alabama. Where is this slide? Oh, darn, okay. I don't have what I thought I'd put down. Well, make a slide. Okay. Georgia, Alabama. 2 amazing teams. But Georgia is going to win. Georgia lost in 2018. Georgia lost against Alabama. It's time for Georgia to win the finals over Alabama. Just to win something over Alabama. Last season, they lost to Alabama. It's time for Georgia to win. Georgia's going to win. Mark my words. Georgia wins out against Alabama. So that's all for this video. Subscribe, hit that like button, turn on notifications, so you never miss on a brand new video. See you guys, and goodbye.
Baylor versus Ole Miss. Coming into this game, Baylor is ranked 7. The team is leaded by 11, the QB. Ole Miss, on the other hand, led by the QB, Matt Corral. So, I think Baylor will win this game. Would be decided by a safety. 20-18.
Good. So our next game is Penn State, Arkansas. What do you have to say about this game?
Penn State versus Arkansas. 20-15. Arkansas will win.
Why?
Because, Penn State is unranked, and Arkansas is ranked 21. So that's why I think. Because, I know they've lost a lot of games. It's just that when Penn State is unranked, sometimes they'll lose, sometimes they'll win. It's just that.
Okay. So, our next game is Alabama versus Cincinnati. It's the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. This is the college football playoff semifinals. What do you have to say about this game, ball boy?
Alabama. Cincinnati. I think that it'll be 30-18. Alabama. Michigan versus Georgia. I think it'll be 21-20. Because
Who? Who's gonna win?
Michigan.
Okay.
Because Michigan is number 2.
Okay.
There we go. I know. Michigan has won a lot of games. Well, some. And Georgia has won a lot of games. Now, before. They've been number one before. But then when Alabama beat them, they went down to number 3. So Michigan's gonna win because they're number 2 and they won the last game.
Okay. So now we are gonna head to the finals. Okay. So Ball Boy, according to your playoff predictions, you have Alabama versus Michigan playing in the finals. Is that correct?
Yes.
Who do you think's gonna win that?
Alabama.
Why?
Because the number 1 and with them beating Georgia, I mean, no way that Michigan's gonna come back from Alabama and Michigan's gonna win the finals. So that's why I think Alabama's gonna win.
Okay. So tune in for another opinion. Back to the desk. Okay, good job, Bubble. Happy holidays!
We'll see you on
January
January
7th. It's gonna be live. Okay? It's gonna be a live stream. It is the finals. My prediction is Alabama, Georgia. His is Michigan, Alabama. He's wrong, but.
I'm not!
See you guys, and goodbye!